DCSAA Class AA Girls Basketball Champions. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matchup that you've been waiting for. Number 1 seed Sidwell Friends taking on number 2 seed, you heard that correct, number 2 seed St. John's. I'm Chad Ricardo. Joining me today, Tim Blank and Mark Stern as well. Gentlemen, everybody tuned in is ready for the show. Are the two of you ready?
Absolutely, born ready. Anytime we get to watch girls of this caliber play basketball, we're in for a treat.
I mean, as soon as I kind of figured, once we saw Sidwell take care of business in the semifinals on Friday night, and then I kind of rolled it around in my head a little bit to know the kind of matchup that we're going to get tonight. Like, I was immediately like, this is the game of the day, pretty much by matchup alone.
As we take a look, St. John's is on their way. They're being introduced right now.
Hey, this is Coach Dudley, first-year head coach at Sidwell Friends. Happy to be here, walking through our state championship game.
Hi, I'm Blair. I've been playing basketball for Sidwell on the varsity team since I was a freshman, and this was a really exciting game for me because it was my first state championship game, and hopefully for my senior year we can actually win the state championship.
Hi, this is Kiki. This is my third year playing varsity, or this is my second year playing varsity at Sidwell. This was my first state championship game, and I play point guard.
So going into this game, it was we had a tough matchup with St. John's. We had a lot of preparation to do with players at the caliber of AZ Fudd. I think the girls did a great job getting their minds right prior to the game, understanding the task ahead of us, especially being so young. But we came out ready to compete, and I think we did a great job executing our game plan, especially preparing in practice the day before and in shoot around. We definitely had a good vibe for where we were, and we were definitely well prepared to play this game.
I was looking at them. Taylor Napper had a big game last
I think we were definitely really excited. I mean, both me and Kiki had, since the fall league, had never played St. John's in a real game. So I feel like we spent so long preparing for this game, and we just felt like, hey, it's time for all of our preparation to pay off. Even though we didn't get the outcome that we wanted to, I think we played really hard and stuck to all the strategies that we had developed over the course of the weeks leading up to it. And I think Coach Dudley definitely implemented some good defenses and offenses that proved to work during the game. So.
Yeah, I think I was definitely super excited because of my first state championship game, but also a little bit nervous just because you obviously know that St. John's is going to be a really tough team, and they have AZ, who's obviously a great player. So we kind of just worked to prepare during practices and put in a few scouting report defenses and offensives, and I think that it really worked. So I'm excited to hopefully play them this year as well.
That the other team, that their opponent has a student athlete that has people as excited to come see as they do to go see AZ Fudd. With Sidwell, you're getting close to that level. Of course, we're talking about Kiki Rice, dynamic, sensational sophomore in her own regard. She had a huge season last year. This season, she's taken her game to an even higher level. Mr. Stern, we were on the call of their game on Friday night. What impressed you with Kiki Rice?
She does everything. I mean, she really does everything. She facilitates, she handles the ball. She's not selfish. She chooses to score in spots. She chooses to facilitate in spots. Her understanding of the floor, how to control tempo. I mean, she does everything. She's got a very good pace and feel to her game.
And Tim, you just alluded to it, Jaden Donovan. I didn't know about her going into Friday night. I wrote for NBCSportsWashington.com that a star was born. This freshman, I called her a diaper dandy. She got it done out there. Points, rebounds, assists, you name it, she did it.
She was just absolutely, Rice got all the attention, but Donovan, like you said on air that day, a star was born from Sidwell Friends during that afternoon. You just take a look at the keys to the game right here that I got up here for St. John's. It's about Fudd. And
so going into the first possession on offense, we wanted to set a lot of ball screens and force the defense to switch and create mismatches on the defensive end.
Donovan had 12.
Yeah, and I think like we had this like good strategy of trapping AZ every time to kind of slow her down, and I think that ended up being even though we gave up some shots on it, I think overall it was a pretty successful strategy, and we executed it pretty well.
Yeah, definitely, and I think like after like the first few possessions, I think we were all as a team maybe a little bit nervous, kind of just getting like settled into the game, but you can definitely tell that we kind of got into our groove and settled down.
I think that might be just the case of maybe.
Yeah, and I think another thing like that we did super well is like St. John's got really like no second chances. We really got like every rebound this game, and which really showed like how much we wanted it and how well we hustled the whole game.
Yeah, I think defensively, like this entire game, we did a great job of like executing our game plan, which I was like really happy about, and I think like we can just continue to build on this this next season. But like just given that it was pretty different from what we've been doing all season, I was really happy with like how we were able to come out and execute it.
Sidwell opens the game up with 94-foot pressure, led to a St. John's layup, but couldn't get the layup to drop.
Did appear to be an easy opportunity for the Cadets, though, if you're Sidwell.
And here's that inbounds pass to Fudd.
Yeah, and I think our youth, well, we knew we'd have a monumental task of overcoming our youth, and I think that St. John just being seasoned, we knew, it was going to be a tough game for us, but I think despite our youth and our lack of experience at a state championship level, the girls did a great job of rising to the occasion and keeping the game close, which is what we wanted to keep the game close.
Coming out with the rebound, pushing, almost had steps. They don't call it. Jaden Donovan corrals. Kellis Corley on her. Donovan attempted one of those pinpoint passes just off the mark. AZ Fudd attacking. Jaden Donovan. Fudd. Ball fake, puts it in.
That was a tough shot. You have to kind of regather and recorral that ball, shoot it from, a little higher than her normal shooting motion. Beautiful, beautiful adjustment there.
Be interesting to see that if Sidwell goes man-to-man, if Donovan picks up that matchup. They call steps on Donovan. Was that wasn't the new age hop step, Mark Stern?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that was a walk from the naked eye.
Yeah, so leading up to this game, we definitely had some strategy. We normally, on our ball screens, we normally trap all ball screens. In this game, we made an adjustment, and we didn't do that. We only trapped when AZ came off the ball screens, which I was super proud of our girls to be able to make that adjustment, because all season long, that was our philosophy on defending ball screens. And with a player like AZ, we knew that we had to force other people on their team to step up and make plays. So I think the girls did a great job adjusting, especially being, again, so young.
On the Sidwell Friends roster for the girls team this year. If this entire core returns next season, every single player that is on that roster right now is going to be back next year.
A team riddled with big-time talented freshmen and sophomore. I tell you what, we went through the laundry list of their players. We didn't even talk about Kia Miller. She's a freshman guard out there who had a few major buckets for Sidwell, helping for them to pull away from Dunbar. AZ Fudd, she is indeed marked by Jaden Donovan. Donovan has the length. Does she have the experience to stay up with AZ Fudd and all of the screens she's going to be running off of? Fudd on the back screen. She drops off a pass. It falls away. Tenito on the miss. Amy Marshall on the rebound.
And you had that right there. That was our first little look of Fudd versus Rice. They're just they're on the baseline just moments ago.
Rice coming off the pick.
So for me, this was not my first experience at playing in a state championship game with a crowd like this. So being in this environment, it was very familiar to myself and my staff. But I knew for the girls, this would be something new and exciting, and could be scary for some young kids. But I think it's great that we had this opportunity to do this, so early in their high school careers for many of them. But it definitely had a different feel to it. It always does when you get to this level, into this championship season.
Fudd gets it over to Corley. Another three-point attempt, again off the mark.
if you guys pay attention, they're really bringing double teams. Every time AZ Fudd touches the ball, they're bringing help defense towards her. Fudd's doing a good job of finding the open lady.
Taking her time, a lot of patience. Kiki Rice off the mark. Emmy Marshall.
I think like this entire game we did a pretty good job of getting to the free throw line, which we knew like was going to be key for us just because like we want to get as many easy buckets as possible and convert if we can. But I think we did a good job of drawing fouls.
Tenito, three-pointer, no good for St. John's. AZ Fudd, three-pointer, all good for St. John's.
And if that's an indication, Sidwell's got to be careful. If she gets the ball in space out there, she won't be afraid to launch it. If she gets going early, it could spell doom very quickly.
Yeah, I think it was nice to like see a shotgun just for like purpose of confidence and stuff, like to get myself going. And I obviously was still early in the game and just trying to stay in it. But yeah, it was definitely nice to see like the free throw fall and the shot as well.
It's going to take me just a little bit of time to get used to Rice wearing a number other than 1 out there, gentlemen. Not going to lie to you.
Can't say I disagree with you there, Chad. It was a little odd for me to see as well, but at the same time, I picked it up pretty quickly. So just like that, 3 points the hard way there for Kiki Rice, and we're tied.
5-5 is our score.
Yeah, and I think we ask a lot of Kiki on the offensive end and the defensive end. So I know it's a tough position to be in as a sophomore, but I think that, also going to this, our depth on the bench, we didn't have a lot. So, I mean, it's a lot to ask of all the girls to put in the amount of minutes they have to put in against such a great team with a lot of talent. And they have a deep bench.
Donovan picks up the foul on Rice. AZ Fudd, I should say.
Yeah, I think that was on Fudd.
That was a real good pass right there. She saw that.
I just feel like even as a guard in general, I'm most of the time either I'll probably be stronger or faster than whoever's guarding me, and I kind of just looked at these bigs like, a lot of them are taller than me, but I think I'm stronger than them, so I'm just going to try to push them out of the way and get the ball. And I also felt like, even if I'm not getting the rebound, I felt like my job during the game was like, let me see if I can kind of distract or push out of the way one of the taller players and box out so that like one of my teammates can kind of hustle and get the rebound. And even like going into the game, I was like, I feel like Coach Dudley like told me I was matched up with number 24. He's pretty tall. And I was just like, oh no, I don't know if this is such a good idea, but it didn't turn out being too bad. So that was good. I think overall I just used my body and my size, and I've definitely learned how to like get the inside position pretty well.
Yeah, I thought Blair did a great job this game of putting her body on people and getting position to get rebounds and making it easier for her teammates. You're going to see a couple possessions here in this game where she did a great job boxing out. And it's critical. That was critical in this game.
Jump shot from 11 feet for Corley.
You keep talking about those inbounds plays.
I think like Emmy and Jaden particularly did a great job of offensive and defensive rebounding this game, which was really helpful for all of us.
Rice, Tenito on her. Rice looking for a pick.
Yeah, and I think they owed us a few more foul shots than we got, to be honest. I thought the game was very physical. I think at times the refs let a lot go. That definitely, I think, dictated or helped determine the outcome of the game.
Wow, that's 2 on Fudd. You remember, I think the other day she picked up foul. She was in foul trouble as well, if I remember.
Well, I mean, of course we want to continue to go at her, but the type of player that she is, she's very smart and very talented. She's a tough kid to get into foul trouble. I just think in general, because she's going to play smart. Great players, they don't get in foul trouble, and you can let them play with 2 fouls. So, of course, we want to keep attacking her. But St. John's, they have a lot of talent on that team. So, I think you try to attack her, but she's a smart kid. She's not going to – I don't see her getting in foul trouble, at least not 3 or 4 fouls in the first half. You can let her play with 2 fouls.
She beats it, gets to the rim, cannot finish. Rice comes out, and a foul is called. Who's it on?
Which way are they going here? I assume, on St. John's.
Foul St. John's, number 10, Jade Tillman. Her first, team foul.
We did a great job too, I think, on the glass, pushing on the offensive glass or defensive glass, and then getting the ball and pushing it in transition, which forced them to run. We put some pressure on their transition defense.
Rice gets it to Donovan, over to Miller.
I mean, I think I had like expectations that I wanted to get to the state championship game and win, because I felt like last year, or every year that I've kind of been on the varsity team from my freshman year till now, we've always had like a slightly better season like each year, and like this is kind of the last thing that was kind of next for us to be a part of. So that's kind of what I expected, and I thought like my first couple practices with Coach Dudley, it was like, yeah, she's really serious, she's really intense, she's a good coach, and she could definitely get us. We can keep building on all the years that I've been a part of Sidwell basketball. So that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, I think like before the season, I didn't necessarily have the expectations that we'd like go to a state championship, but I thought like it became evident like the first few weeks of the season that like we were definitely going to be a really competitive team. Just like our work ethic and how our practices were run, definitely like high level and intense, and I could see that we were going to improve a lot over the season. I thought like our biggest issue was probably going to be how like young we were. We just didn't have a ton of experience, but I think we did like a great job throughout the season, just like learning quickly and being able to pick up on things as they came.
Kiki Rice.
The plays like that in this type of game, I feel like they're critical. I think that was a kind of a call that could have let that one go, especially because the game was physical already. There was a lot of holding, pushing, and shoving. And I think it's tough to make calls like that in a game like this.
9-7.
Is that all-time, Chad, or current?
Bo English all-time, former quarterback at DeMatha. Blair Penn. She was coming after Bo had she made that shot. Amy Marshall off the mark. Jaden Donovan puts it up.
Yeah, they kept a lot of plays alive in this game. It was consistent throughout the game in both halves.
AZ Fudd goes right at Donovan, gets it to the corner, off the mark. Kiki Rice.
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of talent, but I think I didn't have a lot of expectations and definitely didn't expect to come to a state championship first year, just knowing how young we were. I knew that if we could get everyone to work hard, that was going to be key. And I think midway through the season, I was like, these kids are making me a believer. You know what I mean? Just because they all bought into what we were trying to do and their roles and working hard and just coming off a program that was very successful. I knew that those were very key components to our success. And so I knew that they were starting to show the makings of a really, really great team. And just the intangible things, and not so much that we were making every shot or, we had these senior, all-stars, just because they were buying into the intangibles and working really hard and buying into the system. And I know that's critical for success.
Yeah, definitely. I thought like this entire year, like I was really surprised and impressed like with the fan support we had. Like at a lot of our games, our home games and our away games, like fans came out and supported us, and just like it helps you get your energy up, and like it helps you stay motivated, especially like in tight games at the end. It's always nice to have a crowd supporting you.
There for Sidwell throughout the entire game.
Kia Miller on the inbound. Miller gets it to Blair Penn.
St. John's extending pressure now. Looks like it was just a soft man press.
Yeah, and I always love the student section. I think that they do a great job at Sidwell of supporting the team, and we had a lot of support at my previous school, but definitely not throughout the season. Towards the end, yeah, but I feel like the kids at Sidwell, the fans, did a great job throughout the entire season supporting the team.
Foul called on Emmy Marshall, likely not the one that she wanted. Just under 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Is extended to Fudd. She can pull up from anywhere. AZ Fudd, bang! DCSAA Class AA Girls Basketball Championships. St. John's leads Sidwell by a score of 12-9 after one. As they show boys head coach Eric Singletary on the Jumbotron.
Be in the building tonight.
I think the girls did a good job of pacing themselves this game too, not rushing the offense. If we didn't have anything in transition, we did a great job of like slowing things down when we needed to and taking our time and really trying to get a great possession. So that was definitely a sign of maturity for this group.
That's 5 quick points right there for the Cadets.
Yeah, it is.
Really big there when it looked like that the tail end of the first quarter was going to end maybe with a 9-all tie.
Right.
Saw a couple of offensive fouls on Sidwell that were called. Kiki Rice, clutch.
Could have been a foul on Corley, too.
It's a clutch.
Sidwell always seems to bring great student support to all state championship events.
Nobody travels like the Quakers. Nobody hits big shots like St. John's. Corley with the 3. 17-11. Blair Penn back in the hands of Kiki Rice. Tenito marking her.
Not much movement here from Sidwell.
Which is opposite of what we saw the other day. It was their flow and offense that we loved. Miller with the miss. Emmy Marshall can't convert. Sidwell will have another attempt.
That knee injury that she suffered, I believe it was April last year during a U.S. basketball event.
Right after the season, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so that she's playing still this effectively even so soon after a knee injury like that is really just goes to show her talent and her drive.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's not like she just came back now. She's been playing for a couple of months now, which is just remarkable.
But even then, it's also just amazing just how well she's been playing. Usually you need a full year from an ACL repair to get back to where you were.
Tenito on the drive. That one falls off. Jaden Donovan on the rebound. Sidwell would love to get in transition. Jaden Donovan.
Whoa.
They call an offensive foul.
She looked a little out of control going towards it.
She did look a little out of control, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a foul.
This is true.
17-11. Veteran presence of St. John's. Look at that. Delaney Thomas.
Might be time for a timeout here from Sidwell.
Indeed, and that's
And that's kind of what I was hitting on earlier. There were a lot of calls that really, when we could have had the momentum swing our way, there would be a call here or there that was questionable, but I think definitely swayed our momentum. Like we were forced to call timeout here. They went on a little run. But again, 2 possessions in a row or 3 that we could have, scored an easy bucket, but, calls just didn't go our way.
Already starting to see folks for the nightcap, Gonzaga and Wilson starting to foul their way here into the Smith Center here at GW.
Well, one of our philosophies as a staff is that, if a team scores 4 points without us responding, then we'll call a timeout, especially early in the game. And then also, for our kids, we were, I don't think we had made a substitution up to this point. And so those kids had been out there for almost 2 quarters, a quarter and a half without a break. So sometimes we use our timeouts to give them a break and just kind of calm them down, especially after a run. You got to change the momentum. So sometimes a timeout is necessary to try to change the momentum of the game.
St. John's attempting to put some distance between them and the Quakers. Does Sidwell have an answer? Rice, marked by Corley. Look at that defense. St. John's getting it done on the defensive end of the floor.
That's exactly what you said. I mean, you do have to wonder, again, you had so much senior experience that graduated from St. John's last year, but, this St. John's team.
I feel like we were starting to feel a little bit more like we need to get some momentum. Like Kiki just hit that shot, and that definitely gave us a lot of momentum because the game I think started off slow and overall was a very low-scoring game because I think both teams played great defense. So I think we were feeling like, we need to just make sure on the offensive end that we're converting every single possession we have the ball with, and I think we just kind of took that focus and ran with it. So I think that's how we're feeling. Just on offense, we need to make sure we're maximizing each possession and trying to get 2 or 3 points off of it.
Yeah, and I think as a staff, some of the things that they understand now, we don't have to kind of, take the time to reteach. A lot of it's just going to be repping it out and kind of just getting ourselves back in the swing of things. But a lot of the principles and philosophies we had on defense that we introduced them last year, the kids will already know them.
Gets to her spot, rolls it in.
Also, just kind of what Coach Dudley said, I think we've done a great job kind of building a good foundation of team like a team culture that works hard and buys into the plans and plays and culture that comes from our coaches. And I think like we want to continue that, and of course win a bunch of games and hopefully win the state championship.
Yeah, I also think like this next year, like a really high expectation, just because like we've had 1 year under the belt of like a new coach, and we're loading up on a lot more talent, and I think we're just excited. Like we all want to compete and we want to win, so I'm really excited for this next season. Hopefully, we get to play.
Kiki Rice.
Yeah, I mean, we will still be fairly young. Blair will be our only senior. I expect this year, I think my expectations are a lot different than they were last year. I think the girls have the foundation for success. We're going to build on what we started last year, and I definitely don't. I see us right back to where we were last year, ending our season at the state championship game. So definitely excited with the young talent we have coming in, but more excited for the foundation that our older kids have already built.
Nice play design.
What I was going to say is that it's turning into the Kiki Rice show as Rice comes up with the block on Fudd.
There you go. There's that matchup we've been waiting.
And I also think at this point, Jaden was in some foul trouble. I think she had 2. So we also have a rule where if you have 2 fouls in the first half, we have to kind of sit our players down into the second half. And that was tough for us to lose Jaden, who was our second leading scorer on the season.
23-16.
I think I'm just trying to do my best to contain her AZ, because I know she's gonna score and she's gonna get her looks, but you want to minimize the amount of good and wide open looks she gets.
She gets the ball out of her hands. Tonito can't hit. Rice comes up with the rebound.
I'd like to see Fudd pass out of these double teams. I know she's an all-world player.
Yeah, and I also think going into halftime, I think we wanted to continue to stay in the game. Our goal was we didn't want to go down big at half and have to come out come over a deficit going into the second half. So that was definitely a goal of ours, just to stay in the game.
That'll be the last time you don't mention my name in A block. 5-point game, 23-8.
Good amount of pregame rituals. I usually like to eat an apple sometime before the game, and then I don't usually like to talk that much before games. I really do not like people talking to me. I usually this is my only weird one is I always curl my eyelashes before I play a game, because I think I think they when your eyelashes go straight, you'll see a difference. When you curl your eyelashes, you can look up and see in directions you didn't know you could see in before. So I feel it helps me see. So that's the only weird one. I have an eyelash curler in my car, and then I always keep one by the sink. If ever I'm at a tournament, and then I have one in my back. I just have so many eyelash curlers because I have to curl them before I play a game.
Yeah, I don't have any really weird ones. I think I usually I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich, and then I like to listen to music and stuff, and have headphones and play it really loud. But I think the biggest thing also for me is just getting loose, and then also getting shots up. So I never really want to come into a game not feeling I've warmed up and feeling tight.
Oh, no pregame rituals for me. Sorry, I wish I was as exciting as Blair's eyelash curls, but I'm just not. But I will say that I'm more nervous as a coach before a game than I ever was as a player.
She's got Rice on her.
Here comes the double. Here comes the double. You got to.
Yeah, I definitely thought we went into the locker room confident in our ability to win, which was important. We were down by 9, but we weren't. It didn't feel it wasn't a winnable game. So we were just excited to get back in the second half and try to come back.
One thing I admire about this group, though, is that despite the score, they never quit. And I can say that in a lot of games where we could have folded throughout the season. And the girls did a phenomenal job of continuing to fight despite the adversity. So I think that was huge. And it's something that gives me a lot of confidence in this group for the coming years.
And didn't get some other calls. She goes to the lane hard there. Challenges, but comes up empty. Fudd, nice pass to Napper. Napper could not finish because Blair Penn defended. Kiki Rice brings it the other way. 3-ball. Miller Off the mark. Fudd comes down with it, poked away by Rice.
In the country, right here at GW.
Starting like you said, Taylor Napper establishing position on the post. Didn't get the, it's my big word for the day, Mark Stern, personified.
Nice little 4-syllable droppage.
On an offensive foul there on Sidwell.
It's on Jaden Donovan. She's a freshman. She's going to learn from this game. A few tough calls going against her.
I felt really good about that first half. To me, a team like this, we honestly have them where we want them. They have a 9-point lead going into half. We want to keep it always within 10, especially against a really good team. I mean, this is a team that won a state championship previously. And again, super young team. We played almost the whole second quarter without Jaden, who again was our second leading scorer. So I was happy. I wasn't happy with the foul trouble that we're in, but I'm definitely happy with our effort, our energy on defense, executing the game plan. And I tell you, I was super impressed. Like I told you, we pretty much threw our defensive plan at the girls a few days before, and they did a great job of adjusting and executing it. So, I mean, I was pleased going into half. It was more about, continuing to reiterate our game plan.
Getting the ball into hands of Delaney Thomas, who was able to make those hockey assists. Came in key for AZ Fudd as Taylor Napper puts another one in.
Yeah, really nice pass there. Look at that bucket there.
Double-digit lead, 31-20. Donovan looking to work one-on-one. Off the mark, and here comes St. John's.
That's just a bad break right there for Sidwell. That was a good shot, just didn't fall.
Like to see a competitive.
We may have made some adjustments on who Jaden was defending just so that we could keep her out of foul trouble. We definitely didn't press this going into the second half. We normally start out pressing in the games, and we start out pressing second half, but we went away from that a little bit just because we wanted to save the girls, their legs, and like I said, we weren't going into a deep bench. We had a couple injuries, so we didn't make a lot of strategy changes. But just because I felt like what we were doing was our game plan was working for the most part. Of course, they capitalized on our doubling AZ, but I think we were forcing other people to take shots, and we were getting the shots we wanted to get. Not a whole lot of adjusting at halftime.
Ball for Sidwell. St. John's moving the ball around. AZ Fudd.
I thought we did a solid job defensively this quarter, but I think our biggest issue is our inability to get stops and then convert as well on the other end. So we weren't really able to cut the lead by as much as we would have liked to.
Out-muscling Kiki Rice, Sidwell's point guard. Sidwell faithful, encouraging their student athletes.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple times, and definitely looked over it and, thought about what we could have done differently. But, as a coach, we always do that. But, also look at the things that the girls did really well. And I'll say this over and again, I was super impressed with the way we adjusted to the game plan. And, this was coming off of playing back-to-back games because that state tournament is brutal. You're playing back-to-back. So you don't have a lot of time to prepare for each team that you play. So even just watching them and seeing their growth from the beginning of the season till now, I can really appreciate that. So I always like to see that, and I like to, kind of analyze that the girls grew so much. It was very impressive. Also as a coach for me too, I've experienced getting to this point in the season and not winning. And I realized that these games are what makes winning so much sweeter. It's almost like you have to go through this to appreciate the championship when you finally get to that point.
They've made adjustments on the fly. They've got the size that Sidwell does not have. They've dominated on the glass, and Sidwell needs to make a run now. Donovan, coast to coast.
What a take. What a take.
Sidwell's been needing that for a while now. Hopefully it's the start of something for them.
St. John's goes right to the bench to bring
I really, I don't know. I really didn't think it was a foul. I think I fairly kind of boxed her out. And she wasn't even shooting or anything. So I don't know. I think it was a really physical game, and I think like the score shows that why it was so low. So yeah, I don't understand. That wasn't like the best call, but it's okay.
Very interesting. My favorite player, Blair Penn, giving up 5 inches on the play.
And here, wow, looks like Sidwell kind of read that inbounds pass. Fudd tried to catch Sidwell napping, but it didn't work.
AZ Fudd into Taylor Napper. Off the mark. That was the shot they wanted, though. Rice pushes. What a pass to Penn. Blair Penn can't finish. St. John's coming back the other way. Looks like Corley with the ball. Miller had set her feet. She was ready to take that charge. Another heads-up play by the Cadets.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think that there were quite a few possessions where we could have easily either tied the game or cut the lead, and it just the ball just wouldn't fall our way, or be a bad call, or just something small that would stop us from getting to that point.
But that hasn't turned out well for the trailing team in our first 2 games when I've asked you that question.
No, it hasn't, and so I'm not going to say a word about that.
Shot blocked by the Quakers. This one out of bounds. It'll stay with St. John's. Open shot. Tonito off the mark. Look at that. Just trees for St. John's. Just trees for St. John's.
Got to be a call there, whether it's a travel, a jump ball, or an offensive foul.
Yeah, well, and I feel like the game can be physical and you can call the game, but you can't. You got to call it the same way the whole game. If it's you're gonna let the kids play, let the kids play. Like plays like that with Jaden just now, like Blair gets called for a box out, Jaden gets hammered. Has to get hammered twice before she gets the call. So it's tough. You hate to blame the refs for anything, like that shouldn't let them just dictate the outcome of the game, but it is tough when you're in situations like that, and you're not getting the calls.
35-26. Second attempt off the mark. 9-point ball game. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. AZ Fudd, if you wanted to see a heads-up game, not just the game where she scores 40, she's doing it right now. St. John's Cadets up by 9. Corley inbounds to Tonito, 2 seniors.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we didn't really talk about with our team as much is or that's less talked about, is we actually had really good just defensive chemistry. I think we just communicated and switched really well, and just in general our team had great kind of defensive chemistry. We just really rotated really well together, even though that's kind of hard to see if you're not a player as easily as offensive chemistry is, but we have great defensive chemistry, I think.
St. John's is really a well-oiled machine. I mean, no matter what Sidwell throws at them, they've got a counter for it. It's wild to think that St. John's didn't even make it to the WCSAA Championship game this year.
Rice gets the ball in the hands of Marshall. Marshall put that one in. Tonito comes back. Score it, 39-28. Tim Blank out.
Yeah, definitely. I think at this point we all definitely felt like it was a winnable game, and it wasn't we didn't have to come up with from too big of a deficit. We were playing good defense, we were getting stops, we just we're hoping some more shots would fall for us, but we were in it until the end, I think.
Remember, it was Chad that made that comment this time. That wasn't me.
I also think at this point not having a ton of depth and having injuries really hurts us, because we've been on the court basically the whole game, and at this point we're really tired, so it's just getting hard for us to execute and go up strong and keep pushing. But I thought we did a great job.
Tonito calmly brings the ball down the court. Off the pick, they're going to call a moving screen against St. John's. Shot clock is off. 29 seconds, I should say, remaining. Look at the press by the Cadets. Miller driving. Wow. She puts it in.
Beautiful shot with the left hand. They could have held for one shot there, but she had a layup.
I guess if you got a layup
to the basket, yeah.
10-point game. 10 seconds remaining. Fudd gets it up to Tonito. Interestingly enough, Tonito running offense. 5, 4, 3. Tonito for 3. Bounces off the iron.
Yeah, this is where, like, as a coach and our staff, like, of course you always want to be up, but if you're going to be in a dog fight against a really talented, seasoned team, 10 points, like, this is where we want to be. Like, we always say we want to keep it within 10, especially against good teams. If you can keep it within 10, I feel like you can win the game. You know, the game can go anyone's direction. So that's kind of always our point, like our reference point. Like, listen, and that's attainable. It's something that the girls felt like, you know, it's something that's attainable. And if we can somehow get things to swing our way, we can win the game. So we knew we were going to have a tough task at hand, but I think we're right where we want to be. Like, I felt really good at this point in the game. We were doing our job. I mean, we held AZ to 17 points this game, and we were forcing other people to take shots on their team that they weren't comfortable taking.
Because St. John's is so smart, they've been able to figure it out. AZ Fudd looking for her outlet. She gets it to Tenito. Tenito's got Taylor Napper on the block if they can get it to her. There's the other Tenito. Swings it to Corley. To Tenito for three. Off the mark with Taylor Napper. Look at Kiki Rice come in.
Amazing just wherewithal to sneak in there.
But a good steal there on the opposite end by St. John's.
Tenito. Look at
I also think, like, you can see on those last few plays, like, our bench is, like, was really helpful this entire game. Like, they were into it. They were, like, supporting us, and they were bringing, like, a ton of energy, which was great. I really needed it.
Donovan gets the rebound. It's a 6-point game.
I love this girl Donovan's game. She is going to be a really special player.
42-36. The Sidwell.
And you can, like, see these last few plays, like, we've been getting offensive rebounds. We've been, like, going really hard. The shots just, like, haven't really been falling.
The easy pass.
Corley for three.
Oh, and she gets bailed out.
Now you're going to give a senior Corley 3 free throws. Does she make them pay?
I mean, I think it was just, like, an adjustment for everyone, you know, like, especially when you have, like, a new head coach come in, like, that's really different from the past one we had, and just, like, kind of runs the program differently. You just have to get adjusted to the new way things are done. And then also, like, I think our biggest thing was just, like, making Kaya and Jaden and, like, all of our new teammates and players, whether they were new to Sidwell or not, just, like, feel comfortable and welcome. You know, like even just, like, you have to, you know, welcome them on the team, but also, like, help them get adjusted to school as well. So it was definitely, like, a task. But I think everyone, like, you know, everyone ended up, like, really getting along on the team. We had, like, great team chemistry.
Rims out.
What's the call here?
We got a lane violation.
Delaney Thomas in the
Yes,
lane.
yeah. Those plays right there are tough because that should have been a 3-point play.
It's a 2-possession game with 6 minutes remaining. I think this is what we kind of wanted from this game, gentlemen.
AZ Fudd got the look she wanted.
I like that closeout by Penn out there.
Of course, because it's Blair Penn, Mark Stern. Kiki Rice gets it to Penn. No room for Penn to get a shot up. Delaney Thomas guarding her. Look at the defense Carmina Tenito is playing on Kiki Rice. Rice gets the pick from Donovan. Searching, can't get there. Donovan goes up. Legs couldn't finish. Jump ball, this one should stay with Sidwell.
Yeah, and I agree with Kiki. We just couldn't capitalize on a lot of our forced turnovers or our rebounds. Just couldn't, the ball wasn't falling our way. But I do attribute that a lot to being on the floor so long and for so many minutes. I mean, that's not easy to stay focused and continue to push yourself. I mean, human bodies eventually give out on you.
Rebound, can't get it in. Delaney Thomas.
Yeah, I think it was definitely an adjustment, but I think our team's success definitely speaks to, like, how well, like, we made this adjustment, and that, like, even though, like, Jaden and Kai and we had a bunch of new players, new coach, like, I think we definitely, like, enjoyed this new adjustment, and that's definitely just, like, very evident by our team's success and how much time we spent together and how we interact.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Everyone seemed very connected, even if they weren't on the floor.
Rice looking for Miller. Oh, no foul call.
And guys, I've got some stats here from after the third quarter. Taylor Napper, your game's high scorer with 14. Fudd with 13. Napper had 14 and 9.
With a lot of contact, definitely a lot of contact in there that wasn't being called.
They may have gotten away with the foul call there, but When Sidwell has attacked the middle of the lane, the trees of the Cadets have provided cover.
Kiki Rice officially has a double-double now.
AZ Fudd, she can go baseline if she wants it. Rice guarding her. There's the double team. There's the swing. There's the swing. There's the three. It's off the mark. Delaney Thomas on the rebound. On the floor, Sidwell will get it if it goes to a held ball.
After Sidwell misses a shot, they can't seem to hit one either.
Here comes the time.
There it is. Coach Tamika Dudley wants to talk about it. Freshman Jaden Donovan, can she rise to the moment, or will the Cadets win their 5th consecutive DCSAA crown? Rice with Tenito on her. They're trying to get a shot from Miller. Fudd. Donovan. Kiki Rice. This is the play coming out of, should play out of a timeout. St. John's defends it admirably.
That's 2 possessions in a row. We could have gotten calls, and it would have been a 4-point game, or to cut that little lead in half.
Cadets
the
defense.
Shot clock was running out. She didn't have much of a choice there.
Fudd.
Great footwork by Fudd.
Deep inside.
Great defense. Great defense. There's obviously a big size advantage down there for St. John's because they continually feed the block.
I think we're all super proud, as a team, about how we continued to fight till the end, and just we kept fighting, and we were doing whatever it took to try to get back into the game. But I think that was definitely a good sign for us.
Corley knocks it away, and here comes St. John's.
See if St. John's uses clock here.
That would be a good idea on their part.
2 consecutive possessions with an opportunity to cut it to a 1-point game, 1-possession game. Sidwell could not do it. Delaney Thomas drives. Taylor Napper puts it in.
Meanwhile, Kiki Rice is out here face guarding AZ Fudd 28 feet from the bucket.
Delaney Thomas was my X factor. I would love to see her final stat line to see the assist that she has today. Donovan forced one, rebounded by Thomas.
They just haven't been able to hit much.
Foul called on Rice. AZ Fudd would love to put in a dagger. Rice guarding her. This is what we came here for.
I don't think we went into overdrive. I think because as you can see, it's been a couple minutes, and there's been, they haven't scored. It's kind of stayed close. So if it ain't broke, we don't fix it. But, at probably, I think at the 2-minute mark, we had to try to put some pressure on them. And actually, around this time, we started to pick up our pressure a little bit. But it's also tough to press when kids have played the whole game. It's because then sometimes, it could work against you. And so it's hard to make a lot of adjustments here at the end, especially because the kids have played the whole game, and there's a lot of fatigue setting in, and so we don't want to do something that's going to be a detriment to the team. So we did pick up the pressure a little bit, but I don't think that as far as our game plan, I don't think that it wasn't working. I just think that the kids were tired, and it's a tough, long game against a very physical team. They were letting a lot go.
Not to send the double. Good defense. Good defense.
Mark Stern, I think Delaney Thomas. She's that type of athlete.
She is.
For me, I'm speaking to earlier.
There were a lot of games where we were down, and the girls never stopped playing. And so that's definitely, to me, a milestone for our team, because when we're talking about laying a foundation and building culture, I think our culture has to be that we don't quit even when we're down. We play to the end of the game, and I think the girls did that, not just this game, and in a lot of games.
Barring something truly special, as we know that Sidwell is capable of, the Quakers are going to fall in this ball game. In Coach Dudley's first year, though, they make it. They earn that 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I think this entire season, we were just we kind of proved to ourselves what we can and will accomplish in the future. So I think it was great. Obviously, we had like great success, but I think next year, like we're just looking to build on that, and like I think we all expect like nothing less than the state championship. So I think we're all really excited.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think like this season was probably in all my years of Sidwell, probably the most advanced the team had ever been, and it was just like awesome. Even though I wasn't able to play the whole season, it was still awesome to be a part of this culture and kind of still be a part of it and watch the team grow. And I'm really excited for this year.
What has been the better team in this game?
Guys, what are your expectations for Fudd next year? Obviously, she's an all-world player
Yeah,
now.
I think we'll definitely see them in the
What do you think she
postseason
can do as a senior?
for years to come, and I think it definitely could be a rivalry. It'll be interesting, but for the next few years to see how things play out. But I definitely feel like we'll be competing against them in the state championship again this season.
My favorite thing like about the team culture is that I hadn't seen in previous years is it was definitely like there's this culture of like it's cool to work hard and like you want to work hard, and I think that's like that's the best culture you want in a team. Like a team that works hard is going to win and be successful. So like as a team, because we're so kind of supportive and just like invested in that type of culture, I think that was like my favorite thing. And also the thing that I like the most is I think every practice started at like 4:30 or 4, but everyone would come to the locker room like as soon as school ended just to like bond and hang out, which was kind of not what I'd seen at previous years of being on the team. So I just really like those two things, that we were really together and we also both believed in working hard. So, if you like if you love your teammates and enjoy working hard, I mean, there's definitely kind of no limits of how successful you can be.
Put the shot up. Get your for Sidwell, Jaden Donovan, freshman. Kia Miller, freshman. Kiki Rice, sophomore. Emmy Marshall, sophomore. Aviva Wright, sophomore. This team will be back. They will be better than ever. Led by Coach Tamika Dudley. She is building something.